If Rocket Raccoon were human, his story wouldn't be PG-13. It would be a straight-up body horror film, probably directed by David Cronenberg. We all love Rocket. He's the witty, sarcastic, gun-toting trash panda of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a fan favorite, the comic relief. But if you stop laughing for a moment and really look at his story, it's one of the darkest, most tragic tales in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's start with the basics. Rocket wasn't born this way. He was an ordinary, innocent animal. Then, he was taken by the High Evolutionary, a being obsessed with creating the perfect society. What followed was a nightmare of clinical, relentless torture. He was systematically disassembled and reassembled, piece by piece. His limbs were replaced with cybernetics. His brain was surgically altered to grant him higher intelligence. This wasn't a cool sci-fi upgrade. This was non-consensual vivisection. Imagine being awake, aware, while your body is torn apart and rebuilt into something you don't recognize. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we finally see the full extent of this horror. We see him as a baby raccoon, curious and gentle, before the experiments began. We witness the cold, sterile environment where he and his friends, Lila, Teefs, and Floor, were imprisoned. These weren't just test subjects. They were children. They were maimed, experimented on, and given numbers instead of names. Their only comfort was each other, dreaming of a sky they had never seen. The psychological toll is just as horrifying. Rocket was programmed to be a brilliant engineer, but this intelligence came at a cost. He fully understood the pain and violation he was enduring. He remembers every single procedure. That's why he hates being called a raccoon. It's a reminder of what was taken from him, of the creature he was supposed to be. His sarcasm and his aggressive, pushy attitude, that's a shield. It's a defense mechanism built to protect a deeply traumatized soul who believes he is a monster, a Frankenstein creation that shouldn't exist. When he drunkenly breaks down in the first movie, saying, "I didn't ask to get made. I didn't ask to be torn apart and put back together over and over and turned into some some little monster." That's not just a sad line. That is the raw, unfiltered agony of a victim of torture screaming out his pain. He pushes everyone away because he says convinced that if they see the real him, the patchwork of scars and cybernetics under the fur, they'll be disgusted. He literally describes himself as a monster. And then there's the escape. He doesn't just get away. He watches his only friends get murdered in front of him. Lila, the otter he loved, is shot in cold blood by the High Evolutionary. Teefs and Floor are killed in the ensuing chaos. Rocket is left as the sole survivor, carrying the guilt and the grief of their deaths for the rest of his life. He wasn't just escaping a lab. He was escaping a graveyard that he was forced to create. So the next time you see Rocket crack a joke or build some ridiculous weapon, remember what's underneath. It's not a cute, grumpy animal. It's a survivor of unimaginable trauma. A victim of body horror who was forced into an existence he never wanted. His story is a powerful, gut-wrenching exploration of pain, identity, and the will to find a family, even after you've lost everything. It's not a comedy. It's a horror story with a hero who just happens to be a raccoon. Thanks for watching. If you see sci-fi characters in a new light, hit that subscribe button for more analysis. See you next time.